Yo, what's up? This is Ice-T. Right now, you're watching and listening to Overdrive. All right, act like you know, motherfucker.
Okay, welcome back to Overdrive, folks. I'm very pleased to welcome Sean Killian here from Vio-Lence with me. We spoke a couple of years ago, but it's great to have him back. Sean, how are you, man? Great to see you.
Doing great, and thanks for having me, Oran.
No worries, no worries. Yeah, listen, you're coming over. You're coming over for the Oppressing The Masses 35th anniversary tour. I figured it would be a good place to start. The focus on this tour will obviously be for this album, and I can't believe that it was 35 years ago that it was released. So let's just go with, I mean, how have the rehearsals been going and the builds up to the first? I know you're doing a couple of US shows before you come over, so how's it all been in the Vio-Lence camp?
Well, it's been pretty good. I had a couple guys, Christian, he pulled out to go focus more on Cypress Hill, and he's got Power Flow coming up, a tour with them, and so I had to find a new bass player, and then I had a young guitar player, but he just wasn't working out because he's too immature. And you know, some young guys, they got it together and some don't. And yeah, they could play good guitar, but you got to have more than just that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And so I got in the band right now. We have Nick Souza on drums, which is Steve Souza's son.
Yeah.
Jeff Salgado. Yeah, Jeff Salgado. He'll be playing on bass, and he's from Psychosomatic.
Yeah.
I brought back Ira Black.
Yeah.
He'll be joining me, and always a great guy to have anywhere you go. He's just he's a real trooper. And then we were gonna have Max Georgia, but he had some conflicts, so I have Claudius Kramer.
Okay.
From Possessed. He's joining us.
Oh my God, cool! I didn't know that. Obviously, like the
the presser came out, and then a bunch of weird. Yeah, it's music. It's rock and roll.
Yeah, no, I got you, man. It's
crazy stuff happens.
Yeah, and then so rehearsals are going really well. You have these shows coming up. Then you're over here with Exhorder. It's going to be an absolutely killer package. But with just kind of looking at, say, like the World Burn EP that came out. Is there, even with Ira, is there any kind of new ideas and new music sparking around, or are you just concentrating on Oppressing the Masses for now?
So we're just doing this tour this year, and then once we get home, we'll be back here May 10th or 11th. Then we'll start working on new music. Ira's got some stuff written. Ooh. And I've talked to a couple other musicians that I've worked with in the past live on stage that are interested in contributing, so I kind of want to have something a little bit more broad than what Vio-Lence has been in the past, where it's just straight thrash metal and it's constantly in your face. And I want to have parts of that, but you know, a lot of my influences back and still today were punk rock, and I like I really don't listen to metal much. I do listen to a lot of dark wave music.
Oh, right, okay, yeah,
and post punk and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
That's making a comeback as well. All that stuff. I mean, it never really left my turntable.
Yeah.
Like, I see a lot of bands kind of introducing that in, and it's really cool to see. So that's really exciting. And like, it's probably early days yet, but like, obviously, Let the World Burn was an EP. I mean, would you still be kind of aiming for the concept of an EP, or would you think, let's do an album?
No, I want to do a full length album. At least 8 songs. You know. I know full-length albums these days are 15, 20 songs, but I'm not writing that many songs for one record. That's a lot. Mm-hmm. And plus, I think too many songs, I'd rather release 2 records than one and have people just... That's a lot of music on one piece of vinyl.
Yeah.
And with today's
short attention span.
Yes.
Yeah.
Instant gratification society.
Don't even talk to me about it. No. Now, I made an observation here. Obviously, it's 35 years since Oppress the Masses. However, this year, if I'm correct, marks the 40th anniversary since the band got together in 85. Yeah, I was right when I said that. 40 years, holy shit. So, I mean, just going back to Eternal Nightmare and obviously Oppressing the Masses, they're considered to be just absolute holy grail records, especially from the Bay Area. you know, when the '86 demos were released, and then you got to deal with to record Eternal Nightmare. Did you know that it was? You probably didn't, but like, did you kind of get a feeling that this was going to be like people would still be just losing their shit 40 years later over this record?
No, not at all. We were just some punk kids, you know. I think I'm the oldest, so I think at the time I was 22 when we released Eternal Nightmare, and so it wasn't something that, I mean, we were just punks trying to be the heaviest Bay Area thrash band that there could be, because there was a lot of competition here.
Oh yeah.
You know, and the cool thing I like about the Bay Area thrash sound is that no one in the Bay Area, each band sounds different from each other. You know, Testament to Exodus, to Death Angel, to us, to Forbidden,
Mordred, exactly.
Mordred, Sadist, a lot of bands, Possessed. No one sounds. They have their own unique sound. So our goal at the time, because my vocals, I've never been in a band before. This is the only band I've ever been in, and that's the only. I just was like, yeah, I'll try that. You know, why not? I'll throw my hat in the ring. And I think a lot of the sound is driven from the lyrics that I write, and it kind of directs the flow of the vocals, and the music's so frantic. I think it pairs up well, and I think that's what sustains people. Plus, if you're going to call yourself Vio-Lence, you have to have some pretty solid lyrics. So I think people are attracted by that too. Because I'll come out and talk to the crowd after every show. Anyone that's hanging around wants to get just to sign an autograph or take a picture, and it's funny because we draw a lot of different all generations right now. But the funniest generation is the Gen X. Is that I just came to watch, but I just got so excited I couldn't help myself, and I couldn't, and now my shoulder hurts.
Yeah, you're kind of fucked for like a month after.
Yeah, but we get a lot of that. So the music does drive that crowd, pretty crazy, and it still does today.
Yeah, well, that just shows you the power of the music, man. Absolutely, it's a time portal back to when we were all younger and vigorous young men with a lot of anger inside them.
That's it.
Listen, just looking at I'm going through a little bit of the past here, and then we'll come up to the shows. But just looking at those first 3 albums that came out, I just funny that we're talking about the way bands and people react to music today. It's kind of mind blowing to think those first 3 albums came out within 5 years, which is in today's standards, it's like bands are taking like 5 and 6 years between albums. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. But also, it seemed to be a very kind of hectic schedule around then. There was a lot of I believe each album is under a different label, and Records to Atlantic, Megaforce, and then Bleeding Hearts Records. Was there a lot going on behind the scenes, kind of a lot of the business side of things that was just kind of a head fuck during those times?
Yeah. So after Eternal Nightmare, we'd written Oppressing the Masses, submitted some stuff to the label, Mechanics Records, and I got a call from Steve Sinclair, and he actually took the liberty of rewriting some of my lyrics so that they'd be more grammatically correct, and asked me, "Oh, yeah, can I read some to you?" And I was like, "Of course you can. I would love to hear that." So that was that, and then I called Debbie right after and explained to her what happened, and that was the end of that relationship.
Right.
So then,
I'd love to have heard that phone call.
Oh gosh, me too. Because I wasn't on that. I was like, you could imagine my face when Steve Sinclair's calling me, telling me all this. I'm like, what? But then, with Oppressing the Masses, we made a bad decision as young men and terminated our agreement with Debbie Abona, which was a huge mistake. But young men with tons of testosterone do stupid shit. So we did some stupid shit, and that caused a rift with our relationship with Megaforce at the time.
Yeah.
And then it became the grunge thing hit the scene, and there was a lot of influence from the label to not sound the way we did sound, and so that's kind of what influenced Nothing to Gain. Mm-hmm. I think it was a record that it's got some good songs, some good riffs on it, and I just think it needed to be re-recorded. We wanted to use Alex Perialis again, and Johnny Z wouldn't let us, so he wanted us to use Michael Rosen, and it just wasn't a good blend. Alex knew we were a bunch of fucking assholes and how to deal with this.
Mike, I think, keep you in hand,
I think Mike was a little overwhelmed with all the attitudes.
Jesus.
You know.
Just speaking of those albums, and now, I mean, we're seeing a lot of these. I was lucky enough to buy these albums back in the day because I was a collector. But a lot of people today are looking, especially around the kind of the 90s and into the early 90s. A lot of those vinyl pressings are just near impossible to get. They were such small numbers pressed. And every now and again I see online people saying, oh man, it would be so good if we could get like a complete reissue of all Vio-Lence's back catalogue and even in a box set or something. Mm-hmm. Is that a fucking nightmare because of all the different labels? Is it a logistical and kind of contractual nightmare to group it all together in one place?
Well, we have the one problem, which is we sold the rights to Oppressing to Atlantic Records, and even 35 years later, they will not even talk to us about selling the rights back to us. We pursued them before we were working with Metal Blade. After we began that relationship, they pursued them with Atlantic and just got the door shut on us. So either, I don't know why, maybe because, they took Torture Tactics off that record, and that was a bit controversial, being at the same time they were promoting how they were for free speech by releasing Two Live Crew, but in the meantime, behind their back, they're stripping a song off of our record, for the lyrical content. So it's like, and I think that might still hold a grudge with them because I wasn't too happy about it, and I did some interviews and expressed my opinion about what that all was about. Now, the Japanese release did have Torture Tactics on it, so if you can get one of those, but
do you have one of those?
I do not. I wish I did.
I could probably
I don't even have a Oppressing the Masses. I don't even have a Oppressing the Masses. I think I got a cassette.
Jesus Christ. So, you said there about when you come back in May, there's you're going to start looking at putting together new music. Am I assuming that everything is still in place with Metal Blade Records? Just everything's following.
We work on a record by record situation. There's no 7 record contracts or anything like that. It's a good relationship that way. That way they're not under pressure to get Vio-Lence to record more, get more new music out, and we're not under any pressure to be constantly thinking I have to keep writing and keep writing and keep writing, to keep the label happy. So I think it's a good relationship and it works out well. And we don't, nowadays you don't need a whole lot of money as like you did back in, when we did Oppressing the Masses and Eternal Nightmare to record. So it's a good relationship, and I'll be definitely working with Heidi Weaver over there at Metal Blade. She's our rep. So
just looking at kind of what we can expect on the set list is probably self-explanatory. So you're going to do Oppressing the Masses in its entirety, right?
Yes.
And then we're going to have just choice cuts from some of the other stuff?
Yeah, some Eternal Nightmare stuff, and then we'll play something from Let the World Burn.
Okay, very cool. Excellent.
Mm-hmm. Right now, I think I've got 14 songs on the set, so it'll be a long set. Yeah.
Okay. And then with this package, with Exhorder on this as well, how did that come about?
So we've toured South America with them. We did some shows here in the States with them, and we get along great. And we're managed by Jeff Keller Management, so Jeff manages both bands. Yeah. And we have a great relationship, and it's always a blast hanging out with them. Yeah, they're good guys.
Yeah, their latest album is killer.
The opening band I haven't met before. I've watched some of their videos on YouTube, check them out, but we've never met them, so we'll see how that relationship. We're sharing a bus, so it's a big bus.
What do you feel about coming back out, like doing these, especially coming through Europe and the tour bus thing and everything like that? Do you still get excited about it, or is it just kind of like, oh God,
I get excited once we start practicing, and then we start, gelling and bonding together. Then you get out there and do that first show. I love to play the music, and the thing I like the most is to spread it to places it hasn't been before. So we've only been to Bloodstock in the UK, and so
I was there that year.
Yeah. So this is an important tour for us, to get that music out to the people in the UK, Ireland, Wales and Spain and Portugal and Bahrain. We wind up in Bahrain.
God, it's a first time for a lot of people to see it plays live, and I think it's incredible. And it just shows like the strength of just the Bay Area's history. I mean, there's quite a lot of bands from that era that are still out there, still doing it, and they're stronger than ever. They're sounding better than ever.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely fantastic.
Well, our last show was with Death Angel in San Francisco, so that was at the Great American Music Hall,
Right.
December 14th. Yeah, Robb actually joined us. He played Kill on Command and World on the World to finish out our set. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And he did that at the Mystic Festival in Poland. He played World on the World with us. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a great joy to have him up there because you could tell he's just like, hell yes, you know.
Yeah.
I could, because Machine Head's a big business, and Vio-Lence is something you do because you love it, and you can see it in his face. I think when he gets up there, he's really excited.
And then I just touched on the fact that like the 40th anniversary is coming up. Has there been a conversation to kind of mark that or do anything, or are you just kind of like, fuck that, let's just concentrate on new music?
No, just trying to concentrate on new music, yeah. And playing shows for the fans, and
But cool, man. Listen, I will be at the show in Dublin. I'm so looking forward to it. I'm bringing a group of my friends with me. We're going to be there. I'm super excited, and if I might bump into you, I'll say hi to you.
Yeah, for sure. I'm available. I'm usually walking around. I like to see the people, and
Well, look. In the meantime, good luck with these first two shows over there. And best of luck with, not best of luck, but safe travels. And listen, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us here at Overdrive. And we look forward to all of the future Vio-Lence stuff that's coming out. So everybody keep an eye on the socials. So
yeah, for sure. I can't wait to get there. Goodbye. And we'll see you shortly. And listen to Overdrive with Oran O'Byrne.
That's right, yeah.
And have fun.